Let's take that to Daniel Lacalle, Chief Investment Officer at Trussis. Daniel, is this going to be like Real Madrid with the Champions League tomorrow? Are we seeing a turnaround that is here to stay in U.S. equities?
It's a great analogy, I have to say. I think we're still far from what we would call a capitulation and bounce. We are going to see volatility, and this is logical, but the market is still not digesting properly the idea that we are going to see the rate hikes that the Fed has announced, and we have not yet fully grasped the impact of quantitative tightening. This is obviously a market that has been accustomed to a very aggressive monetary policy in the last decade and a half. And what I think is going to be the big test for markets is once quantitative tightening really starts, what is it going to do to the high yield bond market? What is it going to do to mortgage-backed securities, an area that we're watching very, very closely? So I think that there are opportunities that are arising, but I don't think that we have seen a capitulation.
Daniel, I presume that's that quantitative tightening and the related risk aversion that's behind your kind of very bullish dollar stance. And also, the last 2 weeks, we've seen the dollar pull back. I presume you think that's a temporary thing. I'm curious, how much more strength do you think the dollar has this year? And what's the best currency pair to play it in? Where do you see the most upside?
Well, I think that as it's logical, the dollar strength is coming in waves. Right now, because of commodity movements, some emerging currencies are starting to bounce a little bit. But it's interesting to see what is happening in the last 2 years in particular, is that the global demand for US dollars has been rising significantly. And we have seen that all over the world there's an enormous carry trade against the dollar in emerging economies in the Eurozone. So the best way to play it, in our view, is with the euro. The ECB is significantly behind the tightening that other central banks are undertaking. Even recently, Ms. Lagarde has been showing a very moderate view about how that tightening is going to happen. And the second one, which I think is the critical one, is that the Eurozone has gone from having a massive trade surplus to a massive trade deficit.
Thanks so much, Daniel. Apologies, just out of time there. Daniel Lacalle, Chief Investment Officer at Trussis. Thanks for joining us.